Grand Rising Soul Tribe. Tracy here with Sweet Spot e-magazine. Thank you so very much for the likes, the shares, views, subscribes, the comments, generous donations in all forms, everything. I appreciate it all. Let's ring this bell. Let's go ahead and clear out the energy, and then we're going to see what the message the Spirit has for us this morning or whenever you happen to see this. Someone is thinking about possibly something that they did. Grand Rising, Miss Grand Marquis. Hey, Lightworker William. They're either thinking about something that they did, something that they said that they can't take back. Hey, Robert, how are you? It's like at some point, something may have ended, but now this person is thinking back about everything. I think that they are really thinking back about the part that they played, what they've done, and how things may have really gotten out of hand because of their actions. Now they don't want something to end. And they can't, it's like they know that you spoke the truth. Whatever you said, it was the truth. It's just that this person is realizing that either they were too immature or maybe their mind wasn't right, but whatever it was, it's almost like this person can't pull themselves to say that they were wrong, but they know that they don't want something to end because they feel like if something ends with you, it's going to take something away from them, whether this is business, whether this is other friendships, whether this is their confidence, but something about, or the universe just balancing itself. Hey, Straight Cheese. So, all right, Lightworker William, is that your number? I got you down. Y'all put your numbers in the chat. We're going to have a winner today. All right, so let's see. Bottom of the deck. Justice. Yes. Someone knows that they weren't right. And this could have to do with something that happened at work. But somebody knows that justice will be had. I see you, Robert. Because like I said, this person was being so egotistical. This person was not being honest. They weren't being fair. They weren't conducting business the way that they should have. This is someone that was greedy, and they were trying to like this person was trying to strong arm somebody. They weren't being fair. This is somebody who wasn't thinking about tomorrow. They were just thinking about today. Grand Rising, lies never stuck. Now this person understands, why this relationship is like you put that long handled spoon when it comes to this. And I feel like this could have an impact on what they do, where they work, how people see them, or what comes in for them. Because see, I feel like something about somebody's afraid of bad news traveling faster than good news does. Yeah, somebody they know now they should have held back. But I feel like this person became like cutthroat. Instead of they know that they should have been more diplomatic whenever it came to handling this situation. But I feel like this person was just trying to be cutthroat. And they're realizing now what they lost is way more important than that little bit that they chose to gain. Like I said, somebody knows that if this is over, they're the ones that's going to be out in the cold. They're the ones that's going to be suffering. It's them, because they feel like you have choices. You can go anywhere and get whatever it was that they was trying to do. And yeah, this person, and they know that you spoke your piece, and you fine going somewhere else that's peaceful, that you don't have to worry about fluctuations in someone's story, or someone making excuses, or someone doing this that's backstabbing, or somebody that's doing this trying to control the situation, or somebody not being honest. This person isn't thinking about how long it actually took them to get to where they're at now. And they're thinking about, what they started off, what they had to do. This person didn't start off with hardly anything, and they're remembering that. What it took for them to build their whether the business, the clientele, the whatever it was. And this person was just worrying about, the only thing they were worrying about was getting their way, was winning something. Whether this was winning an argument, winning I'm stronger than you, I'm going to take this, I'm going to take this. That's all they was worried about, was quote unquote winning. But see, what they failed to realize, though, was the truth was always going to be seen and heard. Even if they told their side of the story, even if they showed their phone, even if they showed the emails, even if they showed people, their side of the story, someone is going to look at that and say, but I think you missed the whole big point. I think you missed the whole big picture of this. The whole big picture was good news was going to travel fast about you. People were going to be happy with what you did, and they were going to say, oh yeah, let me go ahead and give you, this person's information. That would have been somebody that would have built your business up. It helped your clientele. That would have been somebody that would have made you look really good. But instead, I feel like somebody feels like, they allow themselves to, like I said, it's like whatever they did, they're learning a lesson. Because they're learning a lesson about how people talk and what people can say. They're learning a lesson about, sometimes your way isn't always the right way. Sometimes you have to give a little to get a whole lot. Hey, K Hyphy. K Hyphy, you want your normal number? Yeah, because see, someone realizes that, they were the one that was being two-faced. They were the ones that was confusing people. But, and then not explaining, not being honest. It's like somebody, they may have said this over here, but did this over there. Or like somebody, if they said, okay, well, how much, do you charge for this? Someone was like, $25. But then whenever it came time to pay, they're like, well, actually, it's $35. That's bad business. You got to honor what you say. No matter if you feel that you shortchanged yourself this time, you'll just remember it for next time. You'll say, okay, well, this time it was this, but normally it's going to be this. Hey, Twyla. Hey, High Priestess 369. Hey, Shadia, how are you? I got you, K Hyphy. So, it's like, hey, LP, how are you? So it's like something like that. Yeah, like I said, somebody was just thinking about the getting the money. Getting the money. That's all they was thinking about. Money, 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 money. And they don't realize how they trip themselves up. How they sacrifice themselves trying to go after something else. Their eyes was fixed on the wrong thing. And judgment has been called on this person. I feel like someone else has called judgment because somebody looked at this whole situation with a discerning eye and they said, no, no, I think you handled that wrong. I think what you should have done was this. What you could have done was this. What you should have said was, you know what? Hey, it's okay. Because if it's a matter of, $10, is $10 going to pay your bills? No. But that $150 of that client coming back or buying this merchandise that you got each and every time will. Hey Tara, how are you? Hi Infinity Collection, how are you? It's good to see you too. See, somebody had to find out the hard way. I feel like you already knew what was up. You knew, and I feel like, with this, you saw what somebody was thinking about, but yet this person didn't realize who you were. Almost like somebody lied to you about somebody, but you saw right through it because it's almost like this person sees you as being blessed. It's like this person sees you as some type of I don't know why I'm hearing royalty. So, sometimes when we see people and we go, oh, they got a lot. In our eyes, they have a lot to spare for us. But in the universe's eyes, no. It's not for us to count somebody else's money. Hey, Aisha, how are you? Thank you so very much. Yep. Now somebody wants to come towards you and they want to offer you this big cup of love. Somebody wants to, it's like they want to start over. They want to say, can we get on the right foot again? Because they know that they came after you. They attacked you. They attacked you for no reason. This person, like I said, they know better. They know that they attacked an empress for no fucking reason. And it's like, I almost kind of feel like this person knows that, maybe you have a company or something like that. You have your own company. And, them doing you wrong and only hurts them. Whereas you would have been with your company, because yours is bigger, would have been the biggest cheerleader for them. Yeah. Somebody realizes they tricked themselves out their own spot. Everything that they thought they was doing, how they thought that they was going to take what they wanted from you, how they thought that they was being so slick and what they said to you, they tricked themselves out the spot. They hurt themselves. They didn't hurt you. And now somebody is worrying about gossip going around. They're worrying about, people looking into this to see, okay, well, wait a minute. This is what they did to me too. Almost kind of like this is somebody's MO. They're, this is what they normally do, thinking that they can beat somebody out of something. But they're realizing they can't beat anybody out of anything. Only thing they should do and can do is to be honest. That's it. I'm telling you, somebody, they really want to heal this whole situation because they're afraid that the universe is going to come around and is going to take everything that they have. This person is in regret. It's almost like instantly, whenever you get that instant karma, somebody tried to beat you out of $5, $10, $20, but yet they turned around and got a bill for $450. So was it worth it? Someone is looking at themselves and they see how they were trying to, they see they was not being honest at all. And what's even worse is they know that you saw them. You saw right through them and what they was trying to do. Now, like I said, somebody, they want to come and apologize because they can't sleep at night. They're afraid of the repercussions of their own actions. Hey, Jane Doe, how are you? They're afraid of the repercussions of their own actions. Kevin, thank you so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you so very much. Especially since they know that that something is coming back towards them. What they put out with that Six of Pentacles, because what you put out is definitely what you get back. And they know something is coming back in for them. It's just a matter of time. It is just a matter of time. Hey, C-Bones, how are you? Y'all don't forget to put your numbers in the chat between 1 and 100 for this Tiger's Eye bracelet. Yeah, because you know what? Like I said, somebody thought that they were so slick, they was gonna come in and take what they wanted. That they were just gonna do whatever it was, and that you weren't gonna do anything. This is somebody who felt like, they was running something. Only to find out the only thing that they was running was their damn mouth. I got you, Shonda. That was it. The only thing that was running was their own mouth. All right, C-Bones, I got you. Okay, all right. Yeah, something about somebody didn't realize that the heart that they broke would be their own. They didn't realize that, they should have been looking at the situation with a discerning eye. They should have been the one to say, you know what, this is not going to break me. This is actually going to help me. I almost kind of feel like maybe you had did something so nice, or you did something unexpected before. Maybe you gave somebody a tip or something before, and that's why they thought, oh, they got it like that. Yeah. It's something about you may have done something and would put this impression in their head that they could get you out of something else. They could grab something else from you. Thank you so very much, Tara. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. Hey, Catherine, how are you? Yep. And now this person is concerned, and they worried, they're concerned, they're confused about how that's going to affect their business in the end, which is exactly what they should have been thinking about in the beginning. Because like I said, now that they sit back and they're looking at everything looking at everything. Now they see things clearly. Hey, Shaylin, I got your number. Now they see things clearly. And now they realize, whatever they did, it was not that important. They didn't really need it like that. They should have, because they're realizing their own mistake. Like I said, in one sentence, somebody said it was this much, and then they said at the beginning of the sentence it was this much, and at the end of the sentence it was this much. So they the ones that flipped up and fucked up. Yeah. And they're the ones who got themselves in this position. Now it's up to them to make this apology. They're the only ones. It's almost like they're trying to balance the situation out. They're trying to see if they can change it around, you know, because I feel like, yeah, like I said, you were always the one that looked like you was in control of it, of any situation. You know, you didn't need them. They're the ones who actually needed you, but you was always in control. You was independent, you know, and you were looking like I said, I feel like you was looking like money. You know, sometimes when you look like money, people get fucked up in the mind. They start thinking, oh, yeah, let me count this person's pockets. Let me see what I can get. Let me see if I can grab something, which is the wrong thing to do. So now somebody wants to extend the olive branch so that they can go on with their plan, as far as, continuing to have you as a client, have you as a business partner, have you on board with whatever they're doing. Whether this is a relationship, business ship, friendship, they want you to be on board because they know that they can't do it alone. And you hold more weight than they ever will. Yep. They realize this business person has decided that it was time for them to leave. And you know what? What's even more is that they realize they could have been the ones that say, well, this is not going to go any. I don't feel comfortable with this going any further. They could have been the ones to say the words, but this person is thinking back about the actions that you took and what you were saying, and they realized you had cut that relationship off before they even had it, before it even clicked on them. Yeah, because you know what, they thought that you were so soft you wasn't going to be able to defend yourself, but you are able to defend yourself. There was nothing that this person was going to be able to do, to get at you, to take anything from you. Hey, Red Violet, how are you? Hi, Candy. Yep. See, this person realizes that you have choices. You can go anywhere. You have choices. You have options. This is what this person is realizing. And they feel like a fool for even trying to, win at all costs. They feel foolish for that. They feel like they are the ones who did it with their own demise. All right, Tara, I got you. Their own demise. What's the message, Spirit? What's the message? Yep. Sometimes, people think that they think here and now. They don't think about tomorrow. They think about today. And that's what this person was thinking about. Was coming up against you, trying to win over you today. Whenever this person couldn't have beat you. Number one, you're protected by the Most High. Number two, I feel like I said, your business is bigger than their business. So like that song goes, big bank tank, little bank. This person didn't realize they had the little bank. You came with the big bank. You was going to win all day long. Yep, exactly, Kevin. Kevin said, when the ego causes you to be hasty, the outcome will always cause regret. Speak. Preach. Preach, brother. Preach. What's the message? What is the message? Confirmation. Yep. 3 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups, and 9 of Wands. See, now this person, they want to work with you because they know that you could help them to get something, but they know that you are standing like, nah, I'm good. Now it's like you don't want to be too close to them. You don't you know, you don't really trust that person. You know, you spoke your piece, you know, and then you went on about your business. That's what this person is realizing. When they started reviewing everything, they like, damn, I just said 7,893 words, and that person only said 6. That's when they realizing that they lost all day long. Oh, you said what you said, and that was it. And the rest of that whole thing was somebody just overreacting. What's the message? Tara, well, he need to find somebody that's willing to be easily controlled. You know, I say find somebody that accepts you for you. What's the message, Spirit? Exactly, Kevin. Exactly. What's the message, Spirit? What else? And yes, silence does speak volumes. Yep. See, somebody is upset behind this. They didn't realize they was going to be upset. They thought it was going to be you. But see, like I said, you spoke your piece. You said what it was that you needed to say. And like I said, and this person knows you're the one with the money. And you're not afraid to talk up. You're not afraid to say whatever it is that you need to say. Hey, original, you're the one with the money. And whenever you decided it was time for you to leave, that's when the tower happened. They thought that they was bringing the tower to you, only to find out you had already brought the tower. The tower was already fallen when they opened up their mouth to say whatever it was that they felt like they needed to say. The tower had already fallen. It was already, it started crumbling the minute that they tried to beat you out of some money, or the moment that they tried to, shaft you, or the moment that they thought that they was going to be half nickel slick with you. That's when the tower started crumbling. But whenever you sat back and you thought about it, you didn't even speak about it at first. You thought about it, and you thought about, they lied to me. That's a high level of disrespect. That means they don't have any integrity. That means that they're not honest. That means they're not to be trusted. That means they're going to change, quick change, flip switch, and everything in a hurry. That means I'm not going to do all this. So for you to even have told them what was on your mind, they should have took that as some constructive, not even criticism. They constructive conversation. They should have sat back and they should have what's that called? Marinated on that. But instead, they want to put their butt all up on their shoulders and like, oh, you're not going to get me like that because I'm going to get you. You're not going to do this. I'm going to do it to you. But now that they've had an opportunity to sit back and think, and they showed somebody else, look at these emails, and somebody said, and look at all this, and look at all that. And somebody else said, I think you screwed the pooch on this one. I think that you should have did this and that, whatever. Because whenever you went back and you saw, okay, you said this and you did this and blah, blah, blah. And this person, all this person said was this. But the way you came back on this is you reacted and then overreacted and then overreacted. And then this person just said, and then you tend to call, then you were saying this about this person personally. That's when you messed up. Yep. See, now somebody want to get on the good foot with you, because now they want to go towards this money again. That's all they're worried about. the money. They're not worried about, really repairing a relationship. That somebody told them, you know what, you should have just been professional. You take your personal feelings out of it and you just remain professional. All right, K Hyphy, enjoy your day today, okay? And sometimes it's hard for people just to remain professional. They wanna put their personal feelings in it. But when somebody, when somebody want to sit there and if somebody can't explain to you, hey, I didn't feel comfortable about this, or I didn't really care about this, they're not exactly attacking you. They're talking about what the business. Now, if somebody was attacking you, they would have been like, you know what, bitch, your breath stank. I can tell you walking down the hall before you even walk down the hall because your feet is just that musty. When was the last time you washed your? I mean, that would have been attacking somebody. But you was just like, no, when it comes to this business, I just didn't feel comfortable with this, or I didn't like this, or I felt like it was this, and you had told me this, but yet you're going to turn around and say this, which is confusing. So they knew they was wrong. That's why they attacked you. That's why they took it personally, because you called them out on their lie. If they not lying, if they're not feeling, oh, I'm caught red-handed, they're not gonna go for the jugular like they did. This person realizes they was caught in the lie. They was caught doing the fuck shit. They also realized that lie only fucked them up, only cursed themselves. Yep. So now they're going to try and see if they can get the strength to go towards you to apologize, to try and repair this relationship. Now somebody realizes, because people are going to hear about what somebody was doing, how they was trying to beat you out of some money. That news travels. News travels fast. Yep. And everybody's going to hear about it. Everybody. That's what they're worrying about. That's what they're worrying about. How somebody going to sit there and say, wait a minute, how you going to try and do this to a Queen of Cups, though? Somebody that was hooking you up. Somebody that was doing you right. How you going to do this to a Queen of Cups, though? They didn't think about all that. What's the message? Hey, Jerome, how are you? They didn't think about all that. But they're thinking about it this morning. What's the message, Spirit? Anything else from this stack? Anything else from this deck? Yeah, and then they also forgot that they acted like, you know what, they was the only one that you could turn to. Hell, do you know how many people are willing to have your assistance or work with you or get your money or have you as a client, as a customer? A whole lot of them. They thought they was the only one. They're one of 1,000, one of 1,000,000. So that's when they started thinking, wait a minute. And damn, wait a minute. Mm-hmm. Yep. What else, Spirit? Anything else? There it is. Yep. See, I feel like this is something that's happened before. They didn't learn the lesson the last time, but I feel like they're going to learn that lesson this time. Because like I said, now they want to change this whole situation around. Now they want to balance this whole relationship out. Now they want to, say this and say that. Because like I said, somebody is telling them that they didn't really have the power. Somebody has that discernment, and they talking to this person and saying, you didn't invest wisely. You didn't really have the power that you thought that you had. You know, it's not gonna. You're not gonna get that wish fulfillment like you thought that you were. Bottom of the deck. Now somebody's watching you. I feel like they're checking you out because they want to, and they're not just checking you out just to be checking you out. I feel like this person is kind of trying to see what people are going to say, trying to see how you're going to react. They're watching you, trying to see how you're going to react, what you're going to say, because this person is now feeling overburdened. They feeling it. They feeling what they've done. And like I said, you going on with your business. Somebody is sitting here thinking about how they treated this Queen of Cups. And you was being peaceful. You are allowed to say, what was bothering you. Like I said, this person didn't realize that the tower had already fallen whenever they had already started crumbling when they was doing that fuck shit. They just didn't think you saw it, but you saw it. You saw it, you felt it. Energy don't lie. And now somebody is worrying about how this is going to affect them and their money, and how other people are going to look at them, how other people are going to demand to see, okay, well, wait a minute. I'm kind of afraid to go to you because you're going to try some fuck shit. You're going to tell me it's this price and then turn around and tell me it's this price. Or you're going to say we're going to do this and then turn around and do this. Like they put themselves out there. They didn't do nothing to you. And that's what people don't realize. They didn't do nothing to you. Now they're sitting here worrying about what other people are talking about. That's what they're doing. Worrying about what other people have to say. What's the message? And you know what? Whenever you start worrying about what somebody else is talking about, I feel like that's when you're more willing to put yourself in these precarious positions, because they don't know how now they're going to be accepted. Worrying about other people, worrying about the crowd. Yeah. But they feel like you defended yourself, and that's what people are going to hear about. That fast traveling news, how you were able to defend yourself and why you even spoke up and said what you needed to say, because you wasn't holding back. Now, like I said, they see things differently now that you confirmation, now that you walked away. They see that you had already walked away before they even had a chance to, I don't think this is going to work. You was already gone. You had already closed the door behind you. For them to sit there and talk about something, I don't think this is going to work. You, at that point, you was like, who gives a shit? What's the message? Exactly, Red Violet, long gone. Like, who gives a shit? You ain't even have to say that part. That was a given. What else, Spirit? Thank you. I know one thing. Whenever you said what you said, this is what this got this person all upset. The fact that everything, all that lying that they did, nothing, they didn't get anything. They thought that they was going to get something. They didn't get anything. What they invested in did not pan out, and you was protected. They thought they was coming up against you. I don't know why. I don't know what they thought they was going to do, except get beat the fuck down. Like I said, you're the one who's got the choice. You're the one with the stability. You're the one who's stable. You got your own business. You have other people that want to work with you. There are people that are asking for you to give them an opportunity. Let me show you what I can do. And now, so this person who thought that they had the upper hand, they're finding themselves being possibly ostracized, because other people are like, no, they're holding back because they heard about what this person was doing. Like I said, you protected yourself by speaking up. And then what's even funnier is after you protected yourself by speaking up, this person thought that they won something. They thought that they had overpowered you until they started talking to somebody else and finally realized, no, that ain't it. That's not it at all. So, they're like, no, you may have said all those words and did all this and did all that, and then you're going to attack the person personally? No. You didn't do anything to that person. That person, the reason that person didn't, there's like the reason the collective didn't speak back or jump on that hate train or trying to attack you back is because you didn't even attack them. You just showed them that they made the right decision going on somewhere. This person, you showed them that they will start new with something else. They will start. They got it. They're already gone. Something else has already started. They already receiving other blessings, and they know that they did the right thing. Like I said, they know that you can't even come after them. You can't do nothing with them, and they see that you've done this before. Somebody has done this before, and this person is now thinking about this. They are now in their feelings thinking about this. How they try to take something from somebody else, and how they are suffering because of it. Whether they feel like, okay, well, my money is good. It's what's in here, that just integrity is everything, and it's everything. Your honesty, how you present yourself to the world, that is everything. You can make one bad move, one drastically bad move, and it will follow you. It can take somebody down. Just look at all these people that, like they say, cancel culture. These people that made these bad moves and now they're canceled. They was flying high 1 minute, then they did this, whatever they did. Next thing you know, everybody's like, get away from us. No, we don't even want to be around you. No, sorry, bye. See, they didn't realize that. They was just their ego. Their ego was what got them caught up. The ego and the fact that they was on demon time, that they was trying to control the situation. They was trying to take something from you that wasn't theirs to take. Even if it was something that was so small. Sometimes, but like I said, this person been doing this for a while. See, people don't realize, even if it was the smallest of things, it could have been over $1.50, 6 quarters, a single $1.02. It could have been over something so small, but it's those small things that get somebody caught the fuck up. If you can't be honest over this, and this is so small, what else are you going to be dishonest about? See, those tests that we go through, these are not the test of, well, I'm going to give you $1 million to see how you act with $1 million. And depending on how you act with that $1 million. No, that's not the test that we are receiving. The test that we are receiving is, I'm going to see how you act over this $1.50. Depending on how you act over this $1.50 is whether I'm going to give you the $1 million. People don't realize that. Somebody, they failed the test. They've been failing this test. What's the message, Spirit? They have been failing this test. They stopped their own ascension. They stopped this is somebody who ruined their own business. This is somebody who ruined their own business, and now they're realizing because of their actions, because of things that they said. Now they're looking at themselves. They've gone within, and they're thinking about how they did all this for 6 quarters. 6 quarters is an example, y'all. But somebody's looking at what they did over something that the smallest little minute amount, and they only have themselves to blame. They was on demon time. They was on demon time. What's the message? And like I said, now somebody want to try and change the situation, or they want to, and this is, you'll know if somebody is still on demon time, because they'll say, well, the only reason I said this is because, or the only reason I did this, well, you made me, as opposed to somebody being mature and really learning a lesson and saying, you know what, I had no fucking excuse to do this, to say this, to act this way, to try and beat you out of there was no excuse. The only thing I can do is apologize. That's it. See, somebody's trying to make a plan now. They're trying to come up with how they're going to approach this whole situation. How can they change this whole situation around from fighting with you to now trying to be on your side? Now wanting to work with you. Now wanting to, because they realize that it was them that caused the whole upset. It was their actions. It caused the entire upset. What else, Spirit? Anything else? One more. Then we're going to swing the pendulum. Yep. See, somebody not even sure. They're not sure if they even approach you and, try and say something or try and repair something, if it's even going to change anything. Because they know they didn't even have to attack you like this. They should have thought about that company. They should have thought about this working arrangement. They should have thought about their long-term goals, as opposed to feeling personally attacked because you may have told them something. You may have shared with them something that they did that was confusing. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and swing the pendulum. Then we're going to grab us a number. All right. We'll grab 3 numbers to see if somebody is going to win today. I feel like somebody's going to win. I hope so. All right, Spirit. Good morning, Doria. How are you? All right. Or is it Dory? I don't have my readers on. Good morning. All right, Spirit. Which way is the pendulum going to swing? And it looks like it's swinging a yes. Yep. It is definitely swinging a yes. Hi, more Ariel. How are you? All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and pull some numbers. See what the winning number is. All right. We have a number 6. Anybody call a number 6? Nope. Somebody called a 66. Let's see what else. We have a 59. Nope, nobody called a 59. They called a 53 and a 57. Let's see. We got a 77. Darn, nope. Somebody called a 7, but not a 77. And this last one is 60. Dang, nobody called a 60. They said a 64 and a 66. Oh my goodness. All right, y'all. All right, well, we will be back in the morning. And let's get some prizes. You know what? If by today is what, Wednesday, if by Friday we still have prizes, but because we so far 2 people have won, then we're going to come up with a different way. All right. Thank y'all so very much. Thank you for participating in the chat. Thank you for the generous donations, and super thanks, Kevin and Tara. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you both. I appreciate everyone. Everyone. Thank you so very much. And y'all, I look forward to seeing you in the morning. Have a great day today. I love you all. All right. Bye now.